Today I'm going to be covering 10 fragrances that are so good that I'm going to use the whole bottle. So this has been a tag video that's been going around here lately, and I figured I would go ahead and jump in and, well, also open this up to any other channel or anyone else who has any sort of interest in doing this video if you haven't been tagged yet. Don't know for sure if I've been tagged or not, which is why I'm kind of just jumping in and inserting myself into this ongoing tag. Even if you're not a fragrance reviewer, I do want to hear from you, the viewers, in the comments down below. Let me know what are some fragrances that you have in your collection that are just so good to you that you know you're going to use the entire bottle of. One of my favorite things to see is my viewers leaving their feedback on topics like this. You don't have to be a reviewer to jump in and participate in these type of tag videos. You can leave your own input in the comments. In my opinion, these fragrances are all fantastic. They all fit my taste very well, and they're all scents that I gravitate heavily towards. And if you do have any interest in the fragrances that I talk about today, they will be all linked down below to discounters. Let's go ahead and jump into it. First up, we have Male Le Parfum by Jean Paul Gaultier, the newest Le Male flanker, and in my opinion, one of the best. I'm not going to say it is the best because I still really like Ultra Male, and of course I do like some of the summer flankers as well, but for sure this is one of my favorites. I get cardamom, I get vanilla, I get oriental notes from this one, which is listed, but really just that cardamom spice, nice smooth vanilla. One way I've described this one is that it has a bit of the original Le Male mixed in with Ultra Male, so that Ultra Male sweetness, and then a bit more of a cardamom oriental type of vibe thrown in on top of that. So it's kind of a mix mash of a couple of the others in the line, and then also its own little twist. I think this one smells so good, and it definitely exceeded my expectations when I tried it for the first time. Very impressed by this one here, and still it is one that is impressing me. And even though it is summertime and I'm not really reaching for this as much, I do find myself just kind of thinking about it. I do find myself picking it up and just spraying it on just to experience it, even though, you know, summertime isn't really the best time of year to wear this one. Once we get into fall and winter time, this is going to be heavy in my rotation, especially because by then this will be at discounters fully to where you can at least get somewhat of a discount on this one. Up next, we have Hugo Boss The Scent Private Accord. Now, you're going to have to forgive me. This bottle is currently packed away, so I apologize for that. But this is one that I have talked about on the channel, and it is one that I do really enjoy. And another one that isn't really one I'm going to be wearing this time of year in summertime. It is one that is more of a warm, spicy, cooler weather type of scent. Once fall and winter time comes around, this is going to be heavy in my rotation, and I know at that point I'll be wearing this one years in a row, and I will work through this bottle at some point. Coffee, maninka fruit, and cacao are some of the main notes. Smells so pleasant. It's got a bit of a gourmand quality to it. It's warm, it's spicy, it's inviting. It's just a really nice, classy, masculine wintertime fragrance for men. And it is surprisingly different, even though it is from a designer brand and it falls in the relatively mid-range designer price on discounters. It does bring something new to the table, and it is kind of refreshing. Not so much in scent, like a refreshing, fresh type of scent, but refreshing in the way that it is different. You guys know what I'm trying to say here. Let's keep it moving. Up next, we have Paco Rabanne Pure XS. Boozy notes, sugar, myrrh, and vanilla are some of the main notes. So this is actually not my first bottle of Pure XS, and you'll find that to be similar with a few other fragrances in this video where it's not my first bottle. And not always because I ran through the first one, but because I owned it, got rid of it, realized how much I missed it, got it back the second time or the final time, and then realized that I loved the fragrance. And that's the story behind this one. I got it when it was a new release, and I for sure liked the smell, but it just felt like it was missing something. I did wear through that bottle quite a bit, just testing it and, you know, letting other people try it or whatever. I think I might have decanted out of it a little bit. Ended up getting rid of the bottle, and relatively recently, I think this past winter, I went ahead and got it again, and I've been hooked on it ever since. There's just something so kind of fizzy and sweet and playful about this one that, I don't know, just makes it really appealing for the cooler weather. You know, the note breakdown may be a bit misleading because you may think it's going to be super sweet, but it's not as sweet as it may seem. It does have, again, some of that fizziness and a tiny bit of a fresh counterbalance. And this one, I know I'm going to run through this bottle as soon as it gets cool outside. I'm going to be wearing this one all the time, and it's never leaving my collection again. This next one is another fragrance that I owned at one point, ended up getting rid of the bottle, and now I have it again, and I'm never going to get rid of it again. This one is Versace Pour Homme or Versace Signature. Either way, this right here is one of the best signature scents for men, period. I mean, it doesn't get much more versatile, much more wearable, much more likable than this one. And I don't remember the exact reason why I got rid of this one initially. I just think I wasn't really wearing it for whatever reason, and I guess maybe I had my sights on something different, so I sold this and used that money to purchase something else, or maybe I swapped it. I can't remember for sure, but long story short, I got rid of it. Over time, I really started to miss and crave Versace Pour Homme and ended up getting it back in my collection, and I love it. I wore it quite a bit actually when I had it the first time, and again, just had my sights set on something else, and now that I have it again, I also wear it quite often. I've got a little bit of a dent in here. May not seem like much, but you know, for a collection my size, this is pretty significant here. I also switch off between this and Chanel Allure Homme Sport. I often layer the two as well, so they kind of go hand in hand. But I know at some point I'm going to run through this. That's why I got the 200 ml. Really, this is the way to go if you think you're going to wear it a lot, because this is a ton of fragrance, and it ends up being a much better deal to get this bottle size. But that's only if you're going to actually wear it. If it's just going to sit there and collect dust, that's a different story. And that's what most of my fragrances do. Yeah, it's actually kind of depressing when you think about it. Versace Pour Homme, I know I'm going to run through this one and use up this entire bottle. Might take me a little while, but I know it's going to happen at some point. This next one I have multiple bottles of. This is not my first. This is not my last either. ADG Profumo. Now, this is the largest size, and the bottle is very low, if you can see that. I'm not going to fib and tell you I wore this much out of this bottle. I got this from a splitter on Facebook. He decanted out the majority of this bottle and then sold the partial, and I went ahead and picked it up. But I do have multiple others in like the 120-ish ml size, and then the smaller sizes as well. And I've kind of just switched through and worn all of them. I've worn a lot of ADG Profumo. This is one of my favorites. You know, it's got incense, it's got C notes, it's got patchouli. It's a fragrance that is very versatile, just like Versace Pour Homme, and it's hard to dislike. It's hard not to crave, at least for me personally, for my personal taste in summertime. It's just one that I find myself reaching for all the time and can't really help myself. So collectively across all of my bottles, I know at some point I'm gonna run through at least 100 mils, if not maybe even more. And I've gotten pretty close at this point. I've worn a ton of this stuff. It's just all spread out between a bunch of my other bottles. Up next we have Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. Ambroxan, metallic notes, bergamot, and coal are some of the main notes out of this one. This is basically the Sauvage alternative on a budget. This comes in at about $40 to $50 on discounter. Sauvage comes in at, I think, well over $100 at discounters as well. So half the price, and really, it may sound almost too good to be true. You know, oh, it's half the price of Sauvage. You may think it's going to suck, but it doesn't. This is actually really good. Some people out there, or quite a few people actually, prefer this to Sauvage. And in some ways, I do as well. Performance, not so much, but the scent quality, the way that this one is more smooth, I do prefer that over Sauvage. Just talking about smell here. Both of them have their uses. Both are great in different areas, but all in all, I think Carbon is very nice, very well-rounded, very smooth, and very well thought out. This bottle here is on its last legs. This is one that my girlfriend loves, and she always brings this up. Whenever I ask, you know, what do you want me to wear, she always says, oh, Carbon, you know, especially in the summertime. This one is just hard for me to get away from in a good way. I like Carbon. I like wearing it. It's just one of those fragrances that works. I mean, you can do anything with this scent. Moving along, we have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. Yeah, the 2021 release. Obviously, haven't had it for that long yet, but I know when I smell something that I love. I know when I smell something that has a lot of character and that is unique, and that is Light Blue Forever. I know I'm going to run through this bottle, and what's nice is that I figured this out soon on. You know, I didn't buy this one and then sell it or swap it and then buy it back, sell it, swap it, you know, that whole ordeal, which I've done with other fragrances like you saw in this video. I got this one when it first came out. Of course, I paid full retail for it, which is always painful, but just what you got to do. And I know that I'm going to love this fragrance. I'm going to wear through it. You know, I'm going to get my money's worth out of this one, even though it was at retail price, and you could save, you know, almost half off when you get these on discounters, kind of just depending, but, you know, roughly half off. It's fine. You know, I'm going to wear through it. I'm going to enjoy it in the summertime. This summer, in fact, I'm going to wear it a lot. This stuff right here is really good. It's got grapefruit, ozonic notes, and violet leaf. So the violet leaf gives off the watery type of smell, which is what you would expect from a light blue flanker. The ozonic notes just gives off this airy, light type of smell. And finally, the main star of the show is this nice, bright, sour, rindy grapefruit in the opening. Smells so, so good. The opening by far is the best part. It will blow your mind how good this one is. Running down to the end, we have Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. So as you can see, this bottle is pretty low. Some of it did get decanted, but also a lot of it has been worn by me. And I know I'm going to finish this up, and I already have a backup bottle. I know I'm going to be tearing into that one probably this winter, and I'm going to be putting a big dent in that as well. I mean, this stuff here is surprisingly good. And I don't mean that in a way like Azzaro doesn't release things that are good, because they have a lot of great fragrances, the original Pour Homme included. But I say surprisingly because this is a flanker. And while it does have similarities to the original Pour Homme, it is just so different at the same time, and in my opinion, so much better. Cinnamon, brandy, and amber are some of the main notes, so it's warm and spicy and boozy, and it smells so, so seductive in the cooler months in the wintertime. One of my favorites, and a great, great flanker from Azzaro. This is one that you should definitely consider adding to your collection for the cooler months, and it's not that expensive either. Going to a Mercedes-Benz fragrance next, we have Club Black. Similar story here. I've already got a few backup bottles lined up and ready to go for this one. Vanilla, benzoin, ambroxan, and incense are some of the main notes. Now, I haven't put too big of a dent in this one yet. I do wear it quite a bit in the cooler months, but I still have a ways to go on this bottle. I know I'm going to run through it at some point, though. It's going to happen. It's just so good and so addicting for wintertime. I'm a big fan of vanilla fragrances, and this one here is one of the best designer vanilla fragrances that I've smelled. And it comes from a designer car brand, which is pretty impressive. Of course, you have to be into vanilla to like this one, but if you are into vanilla, you're going to love this, no questions asked. Definitely worth trying and worth picking up. Mercedes-Benz Club Black. I know I'm going to run through this stuff at some point. And last up, the only niche fragrance in this video, Parfums de Marly Carlisle. Patchouli, vanilla, and tonka bean are some of the main notes. So I believe, if I'm not wrong, this is the last Parfums de Marly fragrance that I've purchased. I think I've got not all of them, but I've got a good number of them now, and this is kind of where I left off to complete my collection for now. And this here happens to also be one of my favorites, and it's a shame that it took me so long to get it. You get a nice green woody patchouli, a nice sweet vanilla, a nice powdery creamy tonka bean. Kind of is a little bit like Mancera red tobacco in some ways, but it is also quite a bit different in other ways as well. This is a warm, spicy, sexy, and seductive fragrance. Another one that is really, really good for winter. I do think I will run through this. It will take me a while because it is strong. You don't need to wear that much like some of the other summer fragrances, but I know I will at some point. You know, this is the 125 ml bottle. I mean, look, it's going to happen. It's going to take me a few years, but I know I'm going to run through it. I'm going to wear it all, especially when it comes time to wear it in the fall and winter. It's probably going to be one that I wear for days in a row. It's just that type of addicting scent for me, and that happens a lot of times with some other of my favorites as well, where I'll just kind of go through phases where I wear something for a week in a row. This one right here is one that I can easily do that with. Smells fantastic, and again, one of my favorites. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. That was 10 fragrances that are so good that I'm going to use up the whole bottle. Remember, I want to hear from you guys as well. Let me know down in the comments what are some in your collection that you're going to run through the whole bottle, and if you already have ran through a whole bottle of some fragrances, let me know what they were. And if you want to grab any of these for yourself, they will be linked down below to discounters. Just hit those links and they'll take you right there so you can pick them up easily. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.